We'll be sold out tonight in San Antonio, Texas. Around here they say, remember the Alamo. The USL final is next. You're going to want to remember this. It's taken 482 games, and now we know for sure. The two best teams stand alone for a singular chance at glory in Texas. San Antonio FC is beholden to one objective, finishing the fight. Ask the 26 opponents they've smashed in a record-breaking season, or Austin FC in the Open Cup. Loved or hated, they're respected. Beloved in the Alamo City, tonight the culmination of a 7-year journey. Louisville City returns for their 4th final in 6 years. But this season has been a different journey, meshing a new wave of talent into the championship's winningest modern franchise. 3 stars make a constellation, winning all they've ever known, endeavoring to go for gold once more. To remain, San Antonio, Louisville City in the USL Championship final. We welcome you to Toyota Field in San Antonio. It is the 2022 USL Championship Final, and the Crocketeers are ready to go, supporting Jordan Farr and San Antonio FC, the centerpiece of the most stifling defense in the championship. Shutouts against Oakland and Colorado Springs, while Sean Tosh has gone all 240 minutes of Louisville's playoff wins against Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. Welcome in, everybody. So glad to have you along on a cool night here in San Antonio. That's Devin Kerr. Sarah Gordon is on our sideline. Mike Watt's on hand as well. And Dev, we've never had this before. Number one, best against best.
I actually look at the fact that not only is it number one versus number one, we haven't had the number one overall seed reach this stage since 2016. And how poetic is it that they're matched up against the old guard? New kids on the block against Louisville City, who has the opportunity to become the first team in USL Championship history to put 3 stars above the crest.
All right, let's talk about how Louisville has done that this season. They've broken all their club records despite a multitude of season-ending injuries. They made a nice run in the Open Cup, falling out to Nashville SC in the round of 16, and they've reached 8 consecutive conference finals, now their 4th final tonight. And Dev, they've got their talisman back, Cameron Lancaster's 2nd start of the year.
They needed him beyond belief. 6 separate players in the last 6 weeks have gone out for Louisville City, 4 season-ending injuries, but one of them is back, and it is Cameron Lancaster. The big thing you want to know, yes, we know he scores goals in dramatic fashion. 75 goals to his name in USL Championship career, 45% of those game-winning goals.
Cam scores the goals, but Paulo Del Piccolo captains the team. He's with Sarah Gordon a moment ago.
Paulo, finals are very emotional games, so we'll expect some of that tonight, but how do you put all that aside and perform?
Yeah, for us, I think it's about just trying to make sure we do what we've been doing all year. We've played in this game a couple times, and it's obviously one that's the emotion's gonna come out. But for us, it's trying to just control those and make sure we do what we know we can do.
And I spoke with your coach last night, and we talked about the standard and expectation to win with this team. So how will that be on display tonight?
Yeah, I think it's just from the guys that come off the bench and the guys that start. It's just making sure everyone knows that they have a role to play and that everyone's very important to the success, and that winning is always the expectation around Louisville.
Amazing. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. San Antonio FC, however, is hosting this final because they had the second best season in league history by points. They defeated Austin FC on this field in the Open Cup to the delight of their fans. They won the 22 regular season championship as well. And Dev, they've done that on the back of the Defensive Player of the Year in the league.
He's driven. That's what you have to know about Mitchell Tanner. He gives you a little bit of everything. We talk about the dramatics for Cameron Lancaster. Mitchell Tanner can fulfill the same role when asked upon, but he'll also step up off the back line. He will find his trailing runners all night long. You'll see a ton of them, the way that this team counterattacks. But lest we forget, this is still about defending. One-on-one, the best in the business right now in the USL Championship. Gets bumped off the ball a little bit, stays focused. He has vision, determination, and the ability to lead this team to a title.
And that center back talks to ours, Sarah Gordon.
Mitchell, I was told at the beginning of the season you really took a step back to look at yourself and where you were and where you want to be as a player. And now, fast forward a few months, you're the Defensive Player of the Year, which is amazing. And I just want to know, what did it take to get here?
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of belief in yourself and not being too hard on yourself when you're low, because there's a lot of highs and lows in sports. And I think surrounding yourself with people who believe in you with the same vision is key to success. And I came here and Alan believes in me and allows me to be myself. And my fiance has supported me a ton and is chasing the dream with me. So it's been a great year, and hopefully we can end on a good note tonight.
Amazing. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
These mentality monsters are ready to go tonight at Toyota Field in San Antonio. Will they finish the fight, or will Louisville City, all the injuries, but all the historic acclaim, get their third star going for gold? Lineups kick off when we return.
San Antonio. This club is a marvel. Each and every one of us has a part to play. To live, meet us.
It's arrived, and it's a sellout at Toyota Field in San Antonio. Over 8,000 strong, the best of the West. San Antonio FC under Alan Marcina submit this 11.
He's got Mohamed Abu back in. That helps with possession next to Christian Pirano and Jordi Delem, but you will see a lot of movement coming off the back line. They're extremely direct, trying to find guys like Sam Adeniran and, more importantly, Santiago Patino. 6 goals, a club record reaching the postseason. When he is healthy, he is lethal. Alan Marcina certainly has him at 100%. Louisville City, Danny Cruz, they're going to tweak this as well. They're battered, they're bruised. They move into a 3-back. Josh Winder with the opportunity to lead this team. Best center back all season long. Finally back into form. That helped lead this team to 16 clean sheets, including the playoffs. That is a club record. Remember, Cameron Lancaster, Ray Serrano, Musha Galusa, lethal in the front 3.
All the individual acclaim this year for San Antonio. This is their long-awaited glory for Louisville City. Back again, a 4th final. The USL Championship final is underway in 2022. It is the final domestic professional game in the United States this calendar year. Adeniran trying to get in behind on loan from Seattle. He brings down Winder. San Antonio has not lost at home since April the 2nd against Phoenix Rising, who at the time looked like maybe the favorite out of the West. But San Antonio has had a remarkable season, one in which they more or less rewrote the record books in the championship. Driven away by Danny Fondes. Then of Garcia comes to Amadou Dia. Give it go with Lancaster, it's Musha Galusa. A lot of real estate, but swings it through. There's Jordan Farr, the goalkeeper of the year in the championship. Driven away from Pirano. Tainter drives it away. Get another bite of the apple. Shannon Gomez. He drives that out. San Antonio led by Alan Marcina, the 43-year-old Canadian. His 92nd match in charge, all competitions. 54 wins, 19 losses, 18 draws. Danger. Patino. Patino goes down. Penalty. And Lukasz Spala has multiple decisions to make. And the championship does not have VAR to reconsider this. And we may be in line for the earliest goal in the history of the final.
It's a massive mistake by Danny Fondes. He doesn't trust the defenders as he comes out. 100% contact. The decision by the referee. Which direction is this headed? Ball's moving away a little bit. Is he actually trying to make contact with the ball? Now, Lukasz Spala did not go to the back pocket here. You have to imagine, with the foul, the movement, this would be a yellow, and then you push to the spot. No card given here.
Danny Fondes was the hero in penalties against Pittsburgh. How about Mitchell Tainter? 5 goals this season. 2 for 2 from the spot in his career. And if you want to hear the city of San Antonio exult and erupt, Tainter's got his chance. Tainter, wide! An absolute stunning twist early in this final.
Let's go back to the foul first, Mike. The ball coming all the way back over the back line's beat, but you can see the retreat. Tosh coming back, Sharpie coming back. Fonden doesn't see it, makes contact. Tainter just comes too far across it. Center back, left footer myself, natural tendency, power, bottom corner, come back across the body. He just scuffed it. He came too far across, closed his hips too rapidly, and sends it wide.
Well, Dev, that is a massive bullet evaded by Danny Fondes in Louisville City. That's a foul picked up by Adeniran. No Niall McCabe, no Jorge Gonzalez, no Ian Soler or Jan-Erik Linos, who've played lesser roles. Kyle Morton, who was up for goalkeeper of the year, unavailable for Louisville City. And then you've got question marks around Wilson Harris, Cameron Lancaster, Brian Ownby up front. They really can't afford to get in a hole in this game. This man was also in serious doubt, Mohamed Abu. But he does go from the jump, and he's looking for Tainter. Mushagalusa, and Louisville try and counter. Manny Perez. And in steps Carter Manley. They'll bring it back.
He's got the luxury of either a foul or a handball in this movement coming forth. You see the physicality already from San Antonio FC. Really direct. And when the ball comes up over the top and they aren't able to win their 50-50 challenges, it's turned over to the opposition. You'll see a couple of things. One, high press. Players high, trying to challenge each individual. Whether or not Lou City tries to respond is the same manner is what's going to be interesting. This team's DNA is the ball at their feet, Mike. It's possession-oriented, finding a way to dictate the tempo on their own terms. Most teams that not only challenge San Antonio, but that come to this venue, they can't keep up. They get rattled, and the emotional side of the game starts to overtake you.
Danarin is going to bounce by.
A little bit lucky on the penalty, right? It's a massive mistake by the goalkeeper. Kyle Morton not available. Danny Fondes has been almost perfect. His 9th appearance so far. Previously in the 8, only 6 goals given up. He's got 3 shutouts to his name. Those are pretty good numbers. It's just a mistake. You're rattled a little bit early, but now you settle. It's the back and forth, the opening 15, 20 minutes against a team like San Antonio FC. One of the most difficult to weather in the entire USL Championship, minus being at Lynn Family Stadium against Lou City.
Fondes, who arrived in Louisville on an open tryout, drives it away. Tainter to the sideline. Pushed ahead by Pirano, short of a Danarin. Tosh. Taken away at Danarin on the run. Swings that central Del Piccolo onto Tosh. Another all-league selection, looks for his 4th USL Championship win. Once in Rochester, twice here in Louisville. Head for Patino. Out to Mushagalusa. Del Piccolo, Mushagalusa. Kept that in. It's a throw for San Antonio. There's Danny Cruz, the youngest coach to manage his side in the USL Championship final at 32 years young. We spoke to him often, not just about the ups of being a 32-year-old that's leading the best franchise in the modern era of this league, Dev, but also the fact that he's had to learn a lot, including last year's Eastern Conference final, where it didn't end the way he anticipated, and he felt it was largely on him. He's been masterful in this postseason. Contact, not enough. Serrano goes down, and Abu leads for SAFC. Sharpie under pressure. What a spin by Danarin, but recovered by the 17-year-old Winder. And Danarin bowled him over. Danarin arrived on loan in June. They followed him for years. Dev, he's got so many talents, including being a very adept finisher, but he can also be a physical piece to lead the defense up there.
You play him as a target man into his feet up over the top. The verticality within his game, he's not lacking confidence, can tell you that much. And whether it is the Seattle Sounders getting an opportunity with their 2 squad in MLS Next Pro, he was pretty impressive this season. He's got everything to be that prototypical target number 9. And more importantly, in this specific system, Mike, he rattles you. He's willing to do the work. A lot of 9s that have the ability to tickle the nylon and hit the back of the net, they don't want to work defensively, but you have to buy into this system. You were talking about Danny Cruz. there are expectations that come with this job, and that's not to say anything against anybody else or coaching position within this league. But the only thing that matters is another star, right? It's great that you can get the regular season and the points and the shutouts. The only thing that matters to them is the fact that you put another star above the crest. There was a point in time in this year, it was mid-August, late August, they lost to Miami on the road, they lost to Indy 11 on the road, they recovered with a win, but then 2 draws in a row. It was 1 win through 5. The fans got a little bit uneasy, and why not? All this team ever knows is success, and yet they were on their way to a single season record in points, in wins, in shutouts, and yet everybody just looked around and they want more, right? And so with that, he's embraced it. He's taken the culture, added layers to it. Every coach, every staff member has continued to push this organization. Danny Cruz has to be at the forefront of that right now because the young depth and talent that he's added to this roster in the last 18 months, quite spectacular.
Lancaster for Mushagalusa. Serrano making a central run and losing his footing. Perez streaks back in, it's Gomez. Denerin tried to get a touch, Winder blasts off of Denerin. Patino trying to bring it down. You mentioned it as we looked at the lineup, Steph, is adept to goal scorer in the postseason. As this league has 6 goals, most in San Antonio FC postseason history. Mushagalusa lost it to touch. You know, Deb, you talk about expectations. You know, for San Antonio, Alan Marcina showed up, and they finished first in their group in 2020, 2021. They get the conference final. And this year, they've really taken to the idea of mentality monster. And he goes, look, it's cliche, and I've heard Jurgen Klopp say it, but the way we go about it is, as an architect of this team identity, cohesion, ultra-competitive, and resilience. And the players have bought into that in a way that's made this one of the best regular season teams in league history, even if a lot of people don't necessarily care for their style of play. And make no mistake, they're well aware of that. They know there have been some stones thrown at this point.
How was the chart, the flow chart in its office? It reminded me of that old school quality of character and like what your nutritional diet should be.
Yeah.
Here's the dairy, right? Okay, we want to stay off the sugar, fruits and vegetables, protein, yada yada. And basically he brought that in, but they tweak it every single year. And a major component of the reason why that changes is the players. Not the personnel that's coming in, but the vision of what they want to have alongside their manager. This guy's coming in and turned it around. 17, the team that was defensive, had the opportunity on the attacking side of the ball as well. It's changed now. You know, you've seen so many different individuals come through here, and yet, with all of the different players, he's just continuing to find more success. 10 new players at the start of the season, 18 as we're talking right now. They picked up 8 individuals, 5 through signees, 3 through loans mid-season, that have since gone on and currently are massive additions to this team. You could do that in the offseason, have 34 games and not have this kind of success, yet alone to get guys like Denerin, get guys healthy like Mohamed Abou, Jordi Delem who comes in, right? There's experience and they're a band of misfit toys. A lot of coaches said, we're not interested anymore. Alan Marcina embraced it, so did this group, and they've created quite the culture.
Dia. This is as dangerous a countering team as you'll find in America. Burano slips it ahead. Patino crossing all the way through and out the other side. That hit something.
There's a ton of pace behind this ball coming across. Watch the recovery though. 6 separate players from San Antonio sit deep. You've actually got the numerical advantage, but it's a misstep on the left side. How's the middle on the box? Hats off Sean Tosh. Denerin, a beeline to the near post. This has 1-0 written all over it, if not for the center back getting back and getting a little bit of presence on that back shoulder run from San Antonio striker.
Sarah Gordon is our sideline reporter. Angel City defender caught up with the Louisville bench a moment ago. Sarah?
Guys, I just spoke with the Lou City bench, and they said they knew the first 30 minutes of this game was going to be absolutely crazy. What they want to see from their team is slow the game down by getting possession of the ball for at least a few minutes here, and slow the game down so they can really have a chance and calm down this energy.
Thank you, Sarah. Winder got the return from Sharpie. Adeniran. Louisville not doing a well enough job to keep this out. Finally, Tosh does the job. Mushagalusa. They're overloaded on that side, but that means Dia can streak down the line from the wingback spot. Too much of a touch, and Maloney comes back. Dia allows it out. Yeah, Danny Cruz and the Louisville staff said the first 30 minutes, if we can find a way to get a grip of this game, changes the whole outlook. Especially not knowing how long Cameron Lancaster can go up front, how much you can get from Brian Olby or Wilson Harris at all due to injury.
That's the key factor, is you're riding all three of your nines, and you don't even know if you're going to get 90 minutes out of them. So you've got to get through this wave. They come out unscathed after the penalty mark. But this is right. They got to step on the ball and slow it down a little bit. Not only that, Mike, but when dead ball and restart situations present themselves, stay organized. Have a clear conversation as to what your intent is here, and then attack.
Dia. Patino. Maloney. Off of Winder. Skips again. Good from Gomez. Gomez will take that space. Adeniran. Adeniran unloads off the post. Dia tried to kick it away. Falls toward Maloney, who scored his first as a pro last week. And he'll ricochet toward the corner flag and out. San Antonio is all over Louisville City at this bandbox that is Toyota Field. San Antonio, who struggled from the penalty spot, to be fair, all year, dragged one wide 3 minutes into the game. Watch Fondes get a touch away from the goal mouth about 5 moments ago, and now off the post.
Just watch the back post run. They run Tainer there a ton.
Tainer peeled off. Maybe another look for Abu. Dev, they aren't especially creative, San Antonio, on set pieces, but they are brutally effective.
Well, that's already a different look. You know, I mentioned the Tainer run. You sit down and watch tape, Mike, you can see it. Making friends down in the corner. Cameron Lancaster, nice track back. But you can see it a lot. The way that they set up, a lot of times, and again, personnel will change, but you'll have one striker on the post. You'll get a second one rotating up underneath on the goalkeeper. But I actually thought before this on the movement, thought Adeniran had actually closed his angle down. That touch there, it moves him a little bit further away. A lot of times you'll see him take a positive touch here, attack at the center back. It keeps your options open. You can still go back post and challenge the goalkeeper. Wondrous strike. And Lady Luck once again for Danny Fondes steps out.
Adeniran scored 11 in 22 games to this point of the season for San Antonio. And yet, you can't seem to buy one yet tonight. Del Piccolo. Askew, Perez. From Patino, wheels around and has a go. And Del Piccolo's the outlet. Mushagalusa, appeal for a handball, play on.
It's excellent work though from Louisville City. San Antonio, they're showing you exactly what all their cards are immediately. They've done it the entire season into the postseason. Why change now? Louisville City had to change because of personnel. You get 3 center backs on the field, an idea to fight 3v2. They haven't exactly gotten that yet, but right there, these are the moments where when you step on it, you've got to keep the ball. Moments of possession, take some of the air out of the game, because what you're seeing in the 5th minute, the 25th minute, and the 95th minute is exactly what has propelled San Antonio to be the #1 seed all season long. Denny Cruz, you heard it from a sideline in Sarah Gordon. He just wants his team to slow the game down a little bit. A couple of moments here and there, but he wants those to start to carry off of each other.
Stay with Louisville. Minutes in, USL Championship final, the 10th we've played, the 11th in theory, 2020 canceled by a COVID outbreak. Devin,
are we going to do this right now? It happened, Michael.
We are the old married couple of this discussion.
You cannot tell me the special moments that we shared in 2020 and all the work that the players did, that final did not happen, regardless of what Wikipedia says.
Ball for Tosh. Manley. Further now, but Tosh recovers. 9 goals this year and launches that across. Pulled down by Santiago Patino. Del Piccolo ran him down. Del Piccolo making that ever-common dive sign.
Patino was not happy with Christian Perano. It's really the first movement we've seen 21 minutes into this game where San Antonio FC did not have options. Much better on the retreat by Amadou Dia. Winder slid over, so they closed down. Sam Adeniran coming down into the corner. Perano is just playing hide and seek behind everybody. Mohamed Abu, 3-yard ball over your left shoulder. Yeah, okay, great, but with the way that the defensive numbers have started to accrue for themselves for Louisville City, you got to create options. And you wonder if that's a possibility that Louisville City's starting to understand some of the movements from this team. When Adeniran hit the post, I told you, they kept 6 behind the ball. 7 with the goalkeeper, so it's only 4 in theory. But those only numbers start to add up there. You've got to find a way to be a two-way player in the past 5 minutes. Louisville City doing a little bit better of a job.
And Deb, you talk about those numbers behind the ball. Alan Marcina said, we're going to man-mark the entire 3-man midfield for Louisville City. Even the space that you usually get, you're not going to find tonight if you're Louisville.
And the thing about them is, you know, if you take Patino out of the equation and Adeniran out of the equation, everybody else on this team, it's very difficult to track some of their movements because they're uncustomary from the marking standpoint. Mitch Tainer has got him in the outside, but a great look right now. Garcia sees the space, he steps in. Tainer slots himself into the middle of the back 3. Carter Manley can play wing back on both sides of the field. Carter Maloney, Shannon Gomez, we've seen them in individual one-on-one outside back marking situations, but last time out, Carter Maloney's playing the 10. And that's what this team is all about. That's the mentality of this monster.
End line, cut back, service for Lancaster. Upward, Serrano a second chance. Manley. Gibson got under it. Gibson again with a push. And it belongs to San Antonio. Win the ultimate World Cup viewing experience with the Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes, a grand prize of a Hisense 120-inch laser TV and $500 gift card. The Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes is now live. It ends tonight at midnight Eastern. Scan the QR code for your chance to win. Far. Fondez. Louisville trying to invite this in. Maloney got a piece. He was a fun guy to talk to yesterday around training.
Obviously, he's got Penn State pedigree, my friend. Blue and white doesn't waver. You know that by now.
Sharpie. Anderson is the fourth tonight. Cash Spalla, who spent all of this season around MLS, last at San Antonio a year ago. Worked the 2021 Eastern Conference Final last year as well. Louisville City against Tampa Bay. Tosh. Perez. San Antonio has Louisville just a step or so behind on more or less everything right now.
They are relentless in their chase. I mean, it's nauseating to watch. I can't imagine having to play against it, right? I mean, as the beautiful game evolves in the modern era, beauty literally is in the eye of the beholder between these two, right? Louisville City, they could not have a different or bigger contrast, I could say, than what you're given in terms of overall look from San Antonio. They're direct, they're physical, they want to go 100 miles an hour as long as possible, and then they press when they give it up. Louisville City, they'll press as well, but against a team like this, a little bit more intermittent, but they want the ball.
Trying to get by Tosh. By the way, if you don't like their style of play, I promise you, they do not care.
No, they don't care, and that's the thing about it. We've talked about it a lot recently, Mike. I've been singing their praises since last season. The beauty of the entire system really comes down to the final 30 yards of the field. These moments right here, they don't care about being pretty on the ball in the middle of the field.
Maloney overcooked that, pulled in by Fondes.
They come up over the top, they challenge you. Okay, we're bigger than you, we're faster than you. Play into our nines. If we don't win that 50-50, we've got trailing runs in guys like Perano and Abu, and even Jordy Dilem who are coming in. Then our outside wingbacks are going to pressure you as well. So if we don't win the first and don't win the second, let's go 3, let's go 4. Again, it's continuous. And if you finally do break through, now you're looking at retreating efforts from a back 3 and really what turns into a 5 quite rapidly, and one of the best goalkeepers in the entire league in Jordan Farr. There's no rest for the weak and weary against this team.
Dia. Manley hasn't given a free yard to Mushagalusa tonight. Abu, good check back by Adeniran. Adeniran, dangerous from here. And he'll go for goal. Send that into the supporters section, which as always is standing room only. You and I got out to the tailgate, Devin. Phenomenal experience with these fans.
The reason they're able to get in such wide open areas, the movement actually started on the opposite side of the field, Mike, and they unbalance it. They bring Maloney higher, Carter Manley bumps himself up into the midfield, so it brings Shannon Gomez deeper, but they still go direct. It forces Louisville City to rotate to the near side of the field, so you create another 1v1. Again, up over the top, intent is as straight line as can possibly be. They don't care that you know, they don't care that we know. They're gonna do it. It's wash, rinse, repeat. Reminder coming in, never seen the 1v1 in terms of #1 overall seeds against each other in a final. There's 2 different layers to that. We've never seen the top 2 teams, even outside of the conference splits in the modern era. And going beyond that, we haven't seen the #1 overall seed step into the final since the Red Bull 2 team of 2016. It was a string where it was Orlando City, it was Red Bull 2, the Rochester Rhinos, and then all of a sudden, dormant. It's actually been a curse, but this team embraces it. They want to go down in the history books, and right now, you're getting a real good look of what they're capable of. Can Louisville City withstand it right now? They've got to be on the ball a lot more than this, because with the off the ball, off the post, with the penalty, you've got to show your own true quality disposition, which is possession-based, and we have not seen that.
Maloney, Tosh away. That Red Bull 2 team, by the way, has a couple the players that have gone on to big things, including the plane to Qatar. Aaron Long, Tyler Adams, former Lou City player, just got the nod officially today. Mark Anthony Kay is going to Qatar with Canada.
This area right here, good look at Ray Serrano right in the center part of your screen. He's coming deeper and deeper to try and get involved. Because of all the bodies that San Antonio chase with, they're doing an excellent job removing the 2 outlet balls into Tyler Gibson or Del Piccolo. So Serrano, it's a mistake there once again, in possession by Lou City. He is familiar. He'll pop down into these center spots. He'll track defensively. But it's a move by Danny Cruz to try and mismatch some of the numbers in the midfield, create an advantage of their own. Better movement, costly mistake.
Maloney to throw. His dad, Terrence, a high school coach in the Harrisburg area. Bishop McDevitt talked about how much he learned from that Western Conference final gone awry last year. Orange County was the team of destiny. Dev, what's going on here? His shoe is...
He was upset because he got stepped on. He thought it was a foul. Then he ripped it off in disgust.
Yeah, but now
he threw it because the shoe upset him, obviously.
I know, but now he's relacing the whole thing.
He's got the tracking system off as well. Think about the guys that Alan Marcina has assembled here. We talked about Adeniran coming over from Seattle Sounders. Santiago Patino. Orlando City said, no thank you. They bring him in. Mohamed Abu, Manchester City payroll until 2014. I'd say he's semi-decent, right? Christian Pirano, who of course started here, gets the transfer, heads across to Portugal, loaned out to Greece, and it's just one after another. Every single guy and the chance. I'm not really sure what the argument is there. It's a good challenge by Amadou Dia. He goes straight up. He gets stepped on when he starts to land, but vertically, well done by Amadou Dia on this left flank. Jordi Delem, Shannon Gomez, Connor Maloney, not only guys that were previously told no, we're not interested by our previous teams, but the talent that they're coming from and what they're capable of. Alan Marcina, that black book of his and big board runs pretty deep, and they've done a great job of assembling talent.
Louisville gets to the end line, hangs up there and goes off the top of the net. Manny Perez, who against Pittsburgh in the conference semifinal round, bagged a goal that turned the tide from 0-2 down.
And this is an area of his game that what you'll normally see here, he's trying to bring the ball back across. Manny Perez very comfortable as an outside marking back. And as his career has gone on, whether it's in a 4 or a 3, super understanding of the role that he would play on that right flank. Great in space, beautiful in his distribution coming in. But his ability to challenge one-on-one around the top of the 18 and really dissect the back line is something that needs to continue in terms of development for that player. Getting comfortable in those situations against a team like San Antonio FC, so difficult to do.
Jordi Delem is down.
It's just on the follow-through as Lancaster lands. And Lancaster gets knocked. Jordi Delem, he came awkwardly down on this knee, though, when he landed, and that's what they're taking a look at. Just turned on him a little bit, Jordi Delem. Have to make the challenge on Lancaster. Players coming towards you, balls out in front. Don't fault him for that. Okay, you pick up a foul, that's fine. But the way that his momentum carried, he's trying to pull out of the tackle on the end of it. Pitch just came up underneath him, tweaked his knee a touch.
Delem suffered an ACL injury in May of last year. Actually turned to Will Bruin and Jordan Morris as he was still in Seattle on how to make that recovery. With Seattle from 2016 to 2021 and a regular for Martinique's national team. DeLem's back up, and for San Antonio, a number of chances, Dev, in this game to try and grab an early lead.
Believe it or not, I'm sure that they actually didn't want it to come from the spot, Mike, because anybody thinks 12 yards out, automatic, right? Even for the defender of the year, nope. They are 3 of 8 in this entire season. 37% have been able to hit the back of the net. The rest, nope. And then as this continued, this wave after wave, it was Adeniran, it was Patino. Pirano has had a couple of good runs. Still, after 34 minutes and a couple of mistakes by Lou City, it's still 0-0.
Tainter header away. Gomez on real estate. Quickly thrown in for Louisville from the end line, cut across, and there's Jordan Farr, who arrived on emergency loan, featured in the playoffs last year for San Antonio. After he thought his campaign was done with Indy 11, he was receiving, Devin, a golden corn dog from the Indy 11 supporters. And a couple minutes later, the CEO of the club comes over and says, "You're on loan, starting right now. Put down the beer and the pizza."
What was better, the story, the award, or the fact that it's not a real corn dog? I was a little disappointed, but I got to be honest. Someone offers up a corn dog, I got to make sure that I'm able to partake in such a culinary delight, and that wasn't the case.
Adeniran, no. Well, he's quite used to the idea of a Louisville-Indianapolis Proximity Association football contest, but maybe less so with San Antonio against this Louisville team.
It's a dizzying week for him last season on the emergency loan, yet alone the fact that he hits the end of the year, they lose in the Western Conference Final. Doesn't know where he's going to play. He thought about even retiring. He said, I was trying to figure out exactly what my future was going to look like, and San Antonio, the way things worked out, actually didn't get a deal done till late January, early February. You're approaching preseason time, and the goalkeeper of the year possibly might not have happened. How interesting that his counterpart, who is unavailable this evening, Kyle Morton, your Golden Glove winner, was in a very similar situation. Both goalkeepers that turned heads, both within the USL Championship and their respective organizations this season, almost did not have an entire campaign this year. And one friendly reminder for Jordan Farr, he wasn't even the #1 at the beginning of the season. Christian Bonilla was. That's who Alan Marcina went and got. Bonilla, a couple of games in with really good numbers, said, you know what, I'm done, this isn't for me. Jordan Farr embraced the moment, the team, and the culture, and the individual accolades have certainly followed.
Adeniran trying to turn the corner. Tosh got there, but Adeniran recovers. Adeniran slipping through once more. Del Piccolo got a piece, driven out. Lusa springing down the right touchline. Perez trying to swing back from Garcia. Perez bodied off by Abu. Sent central beyond Gibson, the former San Antonio Scorpion. And on to Dia. Corner, Louisville City. Jordan Farr has kept that net empty as much as he hasn't over the course of this year. Can Louisville find their way onto the score sheet shy of halftime? Dia brought down. Pirano. Pirano twisted down. Abu recovers. Central, Patino. Lancaster, the former Tottenham player, was brief. Sort of been the nature of his career, as well as he starts injuries consistently. Only his second start this year. League single season record holder for goals 3 years ago, 25. It's Tosh. Gomez. Another throw for Louisville City. Make no mistake, some would call Louisville City on the field almost a San Antonio Spurs-esque level organization of success. And San Antonio FC knows something about that. Club started by Spurs Sports and Entertainment here in San Antonio. Spurs ownership group, members of the Louisville City ownership group in attendance here tonight. Driven into the stands like the Lem. Those stands are actually where the Louisville City supporters are. The bottom 6 rows were supposed to be for Austin FC fans during the Open Cup. The season ticket holders said, wait a minute. So they allowed the San Antonio fans to remain in the front 6 rows this time. And the Louisville fans, about 600, are behind them. Excellent to the end line. Cutting through. Plenty of contact. All ball, says Łukasz Spala. Perez creating again for Louisville off the right-hand side. Del Piccolo stabbed away. Lancaster deflected.
How's this challenge? How's this from your defender of the year? Great move by Manny Perez. Center back, you leave your feet. You better be real sure that you're going to get this ball. People don't like the contact. That is textbook defending on a recovery run by Mitchell Tainer to keep this thing from coming square back across, and a chance for Lou City.
Serrano. Perez pushed off by Perrano. Square toward Del Piccolo and out into the Louisville end. San Antonio, the second best season by points in league history. Only Phoenix a few years ago. Most wins in league history. The #1 seed in the West. With the USL, due to an unbalanced schedule, taking away the idea of a Supporters Shield-esque trophy, they made their own. For that third elusive star. Their last championship final victory, 2018, against Didier Drogba and the Phoenix Rising. 2019, they fell to Real Monarchs out of Salt Lake City.
This is some of the gamesmanship you have to deal with when you're matched up against San Antonio FC. Christian Perrano trying to make nice on the back end, knows exactly what he's doing right after this challenge. Gets in front of him, doesn't want the quick restart from Louisville City. Great vision by Tyler Gibson to try and get it going, but Łukasz Spala doesn't agree with the spot. He'll be the judge on that one.
Well, Gibson hasn't given an inch in that discussion. Serrano. Winder. Further by Lancaster. Manley now. Coutinho. Mushagalusa. Competing stiff arms between him and Manley. Twist down, that's going to be a card. Lancaster, who to be fair may only be good tonight for about 45 minutes anyways.
Some interesting decisions here from Louisville City. You want to step on it and you want to go vertical. Obviously two very different arguments for Danny Cruz's side, but they had the opportunity to come back to Dia. They didn't, and instead you put your guys in a rough spot because it's Mushagalusa on his own, and then quickly it's 3v1. He's trying to find Lancaster to come back across. Ball spurts out. Lancaster recognizes this thing is only going in one area, and because the team itself had created such a high line defensively, Mike, the ball goes over the top, you're in trouble. So that's a win-win for me. You get stuck in and win the ball, that's great. If not, you've slowed the game down. Picked up a yellow card, yes, but to your point, your time may be near anyway. Why not try and help your team out, whichever the option may be?
Christian Pirano. Gibson stabbed it away. San Antonio has allowed over a third of their goals this season in the final 15 minutes of the first half. Yet we're in stoppage time, the first of 3 minutes. And San Antonio is the one with their foot on the pedal. Mohamed Abu, he wasn't ready to play in this final, but he wanted to. Wondering, could it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Alan Marcina said, I have to respect his wishes. He played in AFCON before, a tremendous player on the international level.
The guy's one of the best in the league at set-piece distribution as well. And what's interesting to me from the corners, Mike, is as they've gotten into these spots, they've changed. They've changed in terms of where the service is coming overall. They're attacking the near post. Only one runner there. Historically, they run a rotation, they pivot to the far side and run at least one, if not two, all the way to the back post, and then try and bring something square back across.
Abu, back post, penalty, a handball. A second penalty for San Antonio in this first half, and Mitchell Tainter has run directly to the spot.
This is unfortunate. Watch Wes Sharpie's right hand. Straight up, down. It's hard to argue, Mike. It's away from the body. It's up close towards the head. I get it. Everybody's going to be sitting at home thinking, how are they going to call it? Some people may love the call. But by the book, it is the correct decision. It's unfortunate. It's frustrating if you're a Lou City fan. But it is correct by Lucas Spala. In the day and age that we live in, you rise up, hands by your side. If you come up, you've got to make sure they immediately retreat and come back down towards the body. It defies the laws of physics in some arguments, but the header back across, we just told you what it was going to look like. There's the rotation. Tainter gets there. He's only got one assist on the season, could easily be a double digits. And as it comes through, creates contact with Wes Sharpie and an opportunity 12 yards out just before halftime.
San Antonio was 3 for 7 from the spot in the regular season. They missed a penalty in the 4th minute wide to the right from Mitchell Tainter. Patino 1 for 1 this year. He made in July against Atlanta. 6 playoff goals. No player bigger in the clutch for San Antonio in their history. Patino! Antonio leads this USL Championship final, and it's Patino again in the playoffs.
Let's go back to the foul. Good service to the backside by Mohamed Abu. Rise up to the occasion, my friend. That is a heck of a jump by Mitchell Tainter, trying to bring it square. Contact with Sharpie. Class from Santiago Patino. 6 goals for San Antonio FC over the last 2 seasons in postseason play. That leads the club. They have their lead heading into the dressing room, and the bigger concern right now, it's not just the fact that Louisville City is down 1-0. In the past 2 seasons, San Antonio FC unbeaten in 45 games. They are 38-0-7 when scoring first.
And playoff Patino does it again. And we're bound for halftime. At halftime, Jake Edwards, USL president, will sit down with Sarah Gordon. Show you the highlights of the USL W League final. What a year they had. 44 teams in 20 states, a 6,500 seat sellout for their final. For Minnesota Aurora over the summer, it was South Georgia Tormenta that won that final and the League One final last weekend. We'll show you Jaden Nyby with a double for South Georgia Tormenta, and an old familiar playoff game-winning hero for South Georgia in the League One ranks as well. But on this night, San Antonio grabs the lead. Santiago Patino. A remarkable San Antonio deluge of opportunities, and finally they strike in the final minutes of this opening half. Alan Marcina's side leads. Alan gets to chat with Sarah Gordon.
I gotta ask you, you're at the spot, you just saw your teammate miss a PK. What is going through your head to get that done?
No, we always got to have conviction, believe in ourselves. We have resilience, and we're going to keep going no matter what.
In second half, how do you close out this game and get the win?
We got to go win the second half as well. We're going to win the game.
All right, good luck.
So it was Santiago Patino who scores and gets the post-half chat with Sarah Gordon. This USL Championship final, all the build-up, 1 versus 1. The early penalty off.
Just scored. If you think Stripe Team's going to win this thing, makes a noise real quick. Stripe Team, you're the favorite, it sounds like. Knocks him over, looks him right in the faces, get out of the way. Nice pass across the field. Still got a little bit of time here. Right there. Red, nice block off the goal post. What we got? Stripe Team up. Bones over. Here we go. Eisen tries a nice shot, goes right to the center. We need to get it up. Takes him out. Far left. We still got a little bit of time. Do we throw that in? No. We don't count that one. That's one of our systems out here. That was impressive though. We got very well around. Well done for the red team. All in.
final between Louisville City and San Antonio FC. 2022 provided moments that will last a lifetime across the United Soccer Leagues, from Louisville to Minnesota, San Antonio to South Georgia. Last week, the fourth League One final saw Jameel Roberts score a patented late winner and thrust South Georgia into the history books, bringing a title to the smallest professional market in North American soccer. In the inaugural W League final, another Minnesotan sellout for one of these stories in American soccer this year, and a final worthy of the occasion. Jaden Naibi's second goal in extra time earned Tormenta FC the trophy. Now here's John Champion with a retrospective of the best moments of the year.
Tonight's final marks the culmination of a truly memorable year for the USL Championship. One denoted by sellout crowds, marvellous saves, wonderful goals, and so much drama for everyone to enjoy. Louisville City's Kyle Morton and San Antonio FC's Jordan Farr put forth a goalkeeping duel for the ages, while Orange County's Milan Iloski pulled away from the pack to win the Golden Boot. Orange County's Kobe Henry finalised a move to French club Stade de Reims, garnering the highest transfer fee in league history. That record was broken a few months later with former league MVP Hadji Barry's move to Egypt. Meanwhile, El Paso's youth international Diego Luna joined Real Salt Lake for a domestic record fee. The next wave of talent looks primed and ready. Knight Pickering of Memphis 901 FC and Tate Johnson of the Tampa Bay Rowdies made impactful pro debuts. New Mexico United's Christian Nava capped his storybook campaign with an unforgettable goal. And Louisville City's Josh Winder and Orange County's Korede Oshendina are the latest teenage phenoms. The championship welcomed Detroit City and Monterey Bay, and the W League had a debut season for the record books. USL is now poised to continue expansion into Rhode Island, Jacksonville, Milwaukee, Des Moines, New Orleans, and more in the coming years. Sacramento Republic did something no lower division club had done in more than a decade, defeating 3 MLS teams en route to a spot in the US Open Cup final. All in all, USL clubs registered 14 upsets over opponents from higher divisions in this year's edition of the storied tournament. From transfers to Open Cup upsets, it's fair to say that the USL Championship has asserted its position both at home and abroad as a league very much on the rise.
Thank you very much, John Champion. On Monday, we heard about expansion. Rhode Island's going to unveil a brand. Look at what San Antonio's doing. This is how it's done. Patino gives SAFC the lead at the half. Welcome back to San Antonio. I love those veggie sticks. It's 1-0 SAFC over Louisville City at halftime. A remarkable year around the USL. No better time to check in with USL President Jake Edwards than now. He's with Sarah Gordon.
Jake, thank you for being with us. Incredible atmosphere here tonight. What are your thoughts and what does that say about this league?
Oh, it's a fantastic culmination to a great season. Brilliant fans, there's passion on display here. It's been a really exciting first half. I think there'll be more goals in it. So yeah, this is going to be a great end to, as I said, 22, a fantastic season.
And speaking of excitement, 2022 has been a great year for the USL Championship. We've seen some records set, including record-breaking transfers, as well as the highest rating ever for a USL game. So tell me, how does this set the league up for 2023 and beyond?
Well, this has been a remarkable season, as you said. We've got about a 25% increase in attendance. The teams are about 30% increase in their commercial business performance. We've had some great new commercial partners come on board, like Hisense and SeatGeek. And as you said, we've smashed the transfer record several times this season. We've had an Open Cup final appearance with Sacramento Republic. So a lot of good storylines, a lot of progress has been made this season. It really sets us up well for the years ahead, I think.
And let's talk a 5-year plan. Obviously, we're very excited for the World Cup to kick off soon. And then we're looking forward to 2026 when the World Cup will be here in the U.S. So tell me, what is the USL's role in American soccer landscape?
Well, we're in a little over 200 communities now. And so we're servicing those communities with football at the youth, pre-professional and professional level. We're building all of that infrastructure across the country. So when you see a lot of players in our league, Josh Weiner is a great example for Louisville City, who's come through their academy into their first team and now with the US under-20 national team. We've got about 11 of the current US men's national team players who have had USL playing experience. So we keep building the infrastructure, we keep creating the pathway for the players to come through from our communities all the way to the top. We keep investing in the stadiums, we keep growing the fan base like you're seeing here tonight, and the USL continues to play a huge part in the growth of the game moving forward.
Incredible. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jake. The handball, the Patino penalty. San Antonio leads this championship final at halftime. Their pursuit of their first star reaches the final 45 when we return. He arrived on trial in 2019, sold to a club in Portugal. He returned in August. The former Young Player of the Year in the league has the goal at halftime in the championship final. Mike and Devin, a look at highlights, and it's well, Patino that started that too.
Danny Fondez got to be smarter there. He just comes too far out. If you're going to go, you got to make sure you get to it. The miss by Tainer. It's wide, poor form, but right back at it just 10 minutes later. How's the ball by Shannon Gomez? He's inverted himself. He sees the diagonal by Adenor and thought he got too far here, but a good strike from just outside the top of the 18 off the post, and then another penalty before halftime. This is exactly what you see every single time from San Antonio. Long on the back, ball back across, comes off the hand of Sharpie. Perfection from Pratinho.
His 7th playoff goal for San Antonio, and well, how about a change for Louisville City to a guy who knows a little something about playing and scoring in playoff games for his club. Brian Ombion and Josh Winder off. Louisville's going to change their shape.
19 appearances, 7 goals. Let's tack on 4 assists for fun. They'll drop into a 4-back. It'll bring Ray Serrano in front of Tyler Gibson next to Del Piccolo. It's more speed up top. You can play more direct. More importantly, you can have more numbers advanced as you weather this storm and try and play off this back line. They need to be on the ball more, Mike, here in the second half.
Offside flag is up. Couple of stats of note here. Louisville City under Danny Cruz had never come from behind a halftime deficit until about a month ago against Detroit. That did it again against Pittsburgh. San Antonio 45 straight matches unbeaten when they score first. Fondez looking for Ownby, the ever-electric winger for Louisville City. We wondered how long Cameron Lancaster could go. He's playing on borrowed time in theory now. Lancaster is on a yellow, but notably so too is Danny Cruz. He was shown a yellow card here in the lead up to this second half. And one thing he told us, Dev, is San Antonio can suck you in to their play style. It can become this ping pong match, and you can't allow yourself to be the one yelling on the sideline because this crowd, that team across from you, they feed off it.
Well, the players have had to deal with it in different environments all season long, and sometimes it's gotten them into trouble. Most recently, Corbin Bone in the matchup against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We saw it for Wilson Harris on the road at Detroit City earlier this season.
This is bright for San Antonio, edge of the area. Piccolo threw his hands up. Lancaster, he's brought down. Let's go down to Sarah Gordon, who caught up with the Louisville staff at halftime.
Guys, I spoke with the staff at Louisville, and they said they're still trying to get control of this game. That's really the game plan here, to get possession, move the ball, and switch the field. But as far as the heads of the players, they really just told them, you need to control what you can control, leave the refs, leave the calls that you think are bad, and just play the game.
Thank you, Sarah. This Louisville side that's won 2 titles, 2017, 2018, looked for their triple crowning achievement in 2019. Dynastic power in this league. Perez turns the corner, slices that too far, way beyond Gibson. And here's the thing, Dev. Louisville may have more of the ball. They have 1 shot. It was off target in that first half. San Antonio has won both their playoff games this year without completing over just 100 passes. They set the league record in back-to-back games.
Just under. They went from 98 to 96. I didn't necessarily know that was a stat that was possible, but you know, I said in the first half, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I love the analogy you gave on USL All Access, and you talked about the difference from a painting perspective, right? It's Jackson Pollock, it's Van Gogh, it's Rembrandt, and everybody likes something different. For Louisville, not being able to be on the ball, it forces them to play a little bit ugly. That's not to say that the style from San Antonio is ugly. They're extremely efficient in what they do. But Louisville, they've just got to be on the ball more. It sounds so simplistic in nature, but that's what this entire team is made of. It's beautiful rotation, it's challenging spaces, you get the overlapping runs, distribution into the box.
Musha Galusa, that's too far after Manley was beat 1v1.
First half. 61% passing accuracy for Louisville. They're 78 on the season, and that doesn't tell you right there how frustrated Danny Cruz would have been, and yet he's given them an opportunity. This team has plenty of depth, there's no doubt about that. The emotional response, can it happen in a positive nature? Not being wavered by the surroundings that are put forth in front of you, down by a goal. Can you find Mushagalusa a little bit more? It was also unbalanced, I would say, the attack too. Saw a lot down the left-hand side. Didn't see as much on the right. Now, some of that was because of Ray Serrano dropping down into the central locations. You removed some of that right-hand push because you didn't have Manny Perez coming in high. Now that you've gone into a 4, you can create that balance without having to attack uninterestingly, meaning you give yourself the ability to go from A to B to C and yet still bypass some of the central locations as well.
Perez brought down by Ombi, who twists and fires! What a save far! He reaches out and rips it back in. Ombi from a real tight angle, looking for his 8th career playoff goal.
It's beautiful from Brian Ombi. Just takes it down in traffic. Vision the entire time. Pure determination, if not for the goalkeeper of the year. Save of the night, that's an easy save. This may be the save of the year for Jordan Farr because of the circumstances. Incredible from both players.
Well, maybe that's the push Louisville City needed. By the way, we talk about the depth of Louisville City. Let it be known, San Antonio would love to have Jasser Kamiri in this game in the back. They'd love to have PC in midfield. Alas, neither available. Lancaster, Ombi. Ombi streaks forward. Ombi took a touch. San Antonio recovers. Fabian Garcia. Into Patino. That's Adeniran making the run. Holds it up, Tosh. Took dramatics for Louisville in both their playoff games. For San Antonio, it largely felt a little more in check. Although things certainly were a little bit testy between San Antonio and Colorado Springs. SAFC dispatched Oakland 3-0 in a game where Oakland probably deserved a bit better than the ultimate fate. Nevertheless, Louisville, Elijah Winder in extra time last week against the Rowdies, the 3rd straight year they had met in the conference final, from 2 goals down in the final 15 against the vaunted Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The throw for Gomez. You know, Dev, one thing that stood out to me, East-West play far more than they used to. These two sides had never played. Ask Danny Cruz, the head coach for Louisville City, San Antonio reminds you of who? And the first thing that came to his mind said Detroit City.
You can see that with the nature of how linear they can be, and that's not a negative. It's just how they built this team. They come off the back line, go as quickly as possible from one area to the other. The biggest mismatches I see in that statement is the physical side of things. And Detroit City just doesn't have the same size about them.
Manley was last to touch it.
This is better, though, from Louisville City.
Yes.
It's much better. They've got great balance within the attack right now. What you're seeing is as Manny Perez comes a little bit high, not only can Brian Ombi come underneath, which is what caused their shot, only 2nd of the game, first one on target, but it still gives you the dimension to stretch down into the channel. It makes you be a bit more responsible defensively for San Antonio.
Service through, seeking Mushagalusa. Toes tried to get under it. And Louisville's going to backtrack. San Antonio's on the run. Pirano has a boo and Adeniran. It's Adeniran racing in behind. Touch dragged him wide. Adeniran save. Fondes giant leap into the air and out for a corner.
This is better from Pirano coming up through the middle. He's got a ton of patience within him. Christian Pirano 2 years ago tries to go 1v1 and instead slows the game down, picks his head up, recognizes that Adeniran is once again on that far side. This ball comes back through, bottom corner written all over it. This is the consistency we've seen out of Denny Fondes on the backside of this in the absence of Kyle Morton. Tremendous save. He's got to get low, he's got to do it fast because of the amount of power Adeniran produces on this strike.
Corner led to the handball that led to the Patino goal in stoppage time in the first half. A header from Tainter off of Sharpie. This service, however, won't get that far. The Young Player of the Year in 2019. Adeniran brought it down. Tainter sprinting through. Lancaster came up a bit lame. Ball forward, and Adeniran offside.
You got to watch this gamesmanship right now if you're Lucas Spala. This is a heck of a header by Mitchell Tainter. I told you, you'll get him in these advanced positions. How pretty. So concise. He recognizes he's got the through ball. Adeniran's got to be smarter, though. You got to bend yourself back. You have the speed. We've seen that so far. I would say that Fondes was high. I liked the response from the goalkeeper. Mike, it'd be real easy after that early mistake on the penalty to fade from this game. He stepped up. Communication much better, controlling this back line, and nice tempo about them to start here in the second half.
Sharpie. Piccolo. Adeniran brought it down, back heel, brilliant. And watch Pirano fly. Patino drags outside. Slides that away from Dia, and Fondes will claim it.
Excellent recovery, though. This defending here from Louisville City. Danny Cruz so far getting exactly what he wants. There's more of a presence up high as they come. Unlike we saw in the first half, there's a better understanding from this back four. They're doing a good job getting back when the ball is turned over. Instead of what we saw in the first half, Mike, where on the initial recovery, 3v3, 3v2, now it's 4v3s or 4v2s. And it's to their advantage. It's much smarter here by Louisville to start the second half. I would like to see the midfield from San Antonio get a little bit more involved. We have seen Pirano in a couple of runs underneath. He's come up higher, but what's happened is because they've sat back a little bit deeper defensively, Jordi Delem and Mohamed Abu much more restricted in their movements. 15-20 yard gap between those three at times.
Jordan Farr genuinely contemplated retirement in December and January. Massive save on a Brian Ombie 20-yard roller. The difference right now, maintaining a 1-0 advantage garnered in first half stoppage time from the penalty spot by Santiago Patino. Adeniran. Throw for Maloney in San Antonio. San Antonio grabbed the lead in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time, looking for their first USL Championship final victory in their first appearance. Went to the conference final last year, fell out to Orange County. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr, Sarah Gordon on the sideline from what's been a ruckus Toyota Field. There's really not much left for San Antonio to accomplish outside of the brass ring, and they're on the verge with half an hour to go. And what a welcoming city, Dev, this has been. You and I got a chance to walk down the Riverwalk together, meet some of these fans.
Still haven't gotten my churros. You busy later?
Any churro shops open?
Pleading with the locals, please. Always door dashing.
That's true.
Uber Eats, whatever. I mean,
yeah.
Someone here has an account, right? There's enough fans, certainly.
Adeniran slashing through. Adeniran! And boy, Fondes just created a real problem. He's been shown a yellow card, and the fact he wasn't carded in the first half now looms even larger, smashing Adeniran into the boards. And we saw last week, Fondes runs a little hot at times.
This is what San Antonio want from you. Go back to this steal, though, because the high line of pressure, heck of a tackle by Connor Maloney. He had come to the inside, he sprints out, leaves his feet, and then all of a sudden, here's the physicality, the prowess by Adeniran. Watch Adeniran, though. All game long, we've seen them get in the way of the dead balls. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to slow the game down, not allow the goalkeeper to get to it. This is the emotional side that I talk about, though. They start playing mind games with you. Danny Fondes, got to be smarter here, bud. Step around him and get back to business.
Flag is up. And that's sort of the thing for San Antonio. I talked about it in the first half, the idea of mentality monster. Part of what Alan Marcina preaches is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Is it trying to make someone the best dribbler in the league? Probably not. It's making them the strongest mental piece that they can be to this machine. And they knock most every team they play off their game.
Think about this, the most fouls in a single season in USL Championship history. Austin of 2019 had 550. LA Galaxy 2 had 549 in 2019, and yet in 2021 and 2022, 543 fouls, the exact same number for San Antonio FC. Much better by the referee here, though. Lucas Spalla, he's seen enough. These are the theatrics that can also get you in trouble if you're San Antonio FC. Disrupting the rhythm, slowing the game down. Chalk another one up here. Referee trying to police the game and get everybody back on track.
It looked like Delem went into the book. Player won MLS Cup as part of the Sounders organization 3 years ago. Floated ahead. Far got blasted. Sean Tosh got up to meet him.
You had to know they were going to go direct when Tosh came all the way off the back line. And if you're Jordan Farr, of course you want protection from the referee, but you are well outside your comfort zone. It's outside the 6. The problem is the jump. The goalkeeper is going to be shielded here because even though both are rising up, the momentum of Tosh a little bit more advanced than Jordan Farr. And that's the argument coming from the goalkeeper.
Free kick, San Antonio. Del Piccolo this time, catching Pirano.
Same idea here that you get from the dead balls on the far corners. Mohamed Abou, his wondrous left foot. Mitchell Tainer, he's on the back post right now. He's marked up against Wes Sharpie. You can get cute and come close, but Congestion gets in the way.
Abu, Tainter, Denerin, he scores! Finally, he has his goal! San Antonio 2 goals ahead!
There's no denying what this team is. They don't apologize. No mistakes, clean and efficient within their own skin. Just said to you, why go near post? You haven't changed it all season long. The scouting report says, back post, Mitchell Tainter, redirect back across. You just got to execute, and they surely do. The physicality of Denerin once again rising up above his counterpart on the opposite side of the nines, and Cameron Lancaster. It's mishit a little bit. Tainter goes and gets it. Denerin up, San Antonio in, and now by 2.
Two goals created off set pieces, a handball on a Tainter header, and now Tainter finds Denerin, his second of the playoffs. Louisville's making 3 changes. Mogul, Harris, and Elijah Winder. Del Piccolo, Louisville's captain, comes off. Cameron Lancaster is done. And Tyler Gibson as well. Won a title here in San Antonio with the since shuttered Scorpions. Subs 2 through 4 for Louisville City. And Louisville is right where they were against Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. 2 goals down late in the second half. Perez, advantage. Perez into the smoke. Mushagalusa. And another player down on the other end for San Antonio. So Jordan Farr is grabbing at that arm, and Connor Maloney is rolling in the grass. Grant Makala has not played all year. Lest we forget, in theory, that's your 4th goalkeeper from when this started. It was Christian Bonilla, and then Matt Cardoni retired to go get a law degree.
I would say the good news is for San Antonio FC is the trainer isn't attending to the goalkeeper. Bad news is they are with their captain and Connor Maloney. The brick house that runs through and around and above everything, even at 5'6", which we need to have a conversation about, by the way. I'm not exactly sure that height is accurately represented. Another day, another dollar, right? How's the ball, though? Mitchell Tainter to Denerin, 6'5", Mike. 25 USL Championship goals. That was only his 3rd headed goal. Think about that. That guy is just, he exudes confidence in the air. For that to only be his 3rd, a true representation of what a marksman he is. But you and I came in. Joe Malfa, who calls games with us as well, fortunate enough to have him alongside. We talked about Carlos Mogul and what an impact this young man could have on this game. How important the young players, the academy guys for Louisville City have been throughout this season. And another opportunity to run to the final. Carlos Mogul, Elijah Winder, some of them not through the academy, guys like Wilson Harris, Musha Galusa. Danny Cruz has praised them all season long in the absence of the names that we've come to know and love, like a Cameron Lancaster, a Niall McCabe, a Brian Ownby. Can these young men start to lift this team? Because no team in the history of the USL Championship has ever come back from a 2-goal deficit to win the final.
They gave a yellow card to a member of the San Antonio bench May have been an assistant coach. Another foul. If Louisville's going to turn this around, it has to begin soon. San Antonio's so stingy. Moguls reset the ball. The 19-year-old from Kentucky out of the academy. Tried to dig in on Pirano. What strength and what skill. Pirano leading Abu. Abu serving Patino! San Antonio can reach out and touch that first star. 3 goals ahead.
Incredible. You could talk about the manner in which they play, the style. This is the beautiful game at its best. The turnover on the other end, the individual brilliance of Pirano. Beats 2, beats a third down into the middle. You've got your center midfielder, Mohamed Abu, bumps up off the 6 into the 8, rotates to the outside as he come and drags space with him. Guess who? Perfection from 12 yards out in the first half turns to absolute masterclass by San Antonio FC and Patino here. Halfway through the second, utter brilliance from the home squad.
Harris kept it ahead to Ombi. Ombi lost his footing, leans it back, cut central. Winder couldn't get a hold of it. This has been brewing for a long time. It always felt like Tim Holt and the San Antonio FC staff were on the verge of this level of greatness. To win the regular season and the postseason, such an infrequent occurrence. And a push from Harris.
Might go back to the run though. I talked about Mohamed Abu as he pulls. Watch the back line shift. And there's a recognition there from Amadou Dia that he's got to check in. The problem is Ray Serrano. This is where San Antonio gets you. There's the recovery because they're coming off the set piece. Serrano comes back, doesn't recognize where the run from Ratinho is coming from. He goats you. That check to the near post, peels off to the back shoulder. Beyond impressive. Touch by a defender. Both of your midfielders are involved. Even the run by Adeniran to pull as well. To elongate the play, to allow Patino to open up on the inside.
Fondes charges off his line.
Can you recover now? I mean, we've been asking for Louisville City to get back into this game. They did it at the start. Yeah, you gave up the second goal. Okay, the changes were already coming. Danny Cruz and co make it anyway. This is one of the areas, though, that's gotten them in trouble. When they've stepped on it, they've given it away. There's much better rotation coming forward, but the lack of creative opportunities in the final third, really it's been Brian Ownby, and that's about it. You're after the 73rd minute, and their XG right now is .09. This team has 1 shot on target. It's from Brian Ownby. That's 5 minutes into the start of the second half. They've only got 2 in the game overall. Got to be quicker in decision-making, in rotation. The thought process has to come up another level here if you're Lou City and want to get back into this game.
Danger, Tosh. Collision with Patino, who's the latest to score a double in a final. Sonny Samuels, Derek Etienne, Ronaldo Damas. Louisville, for just the second time this year, has conceded 2 goals, rather 3 or more. That is sent entirely out of the stadium here in San Antonio. Louisville dropped a 3-goal defensive nightmare against Los Dos back in May on the heels of their Open Cup run. They've been hit by an entirely different level of team tonight. Corner San Antonio. The boo. Change for San Antonio. Sam Adeniran scored what stands as the insurance in the 65th minute. Chance after chance, he did deliver his 12th of the season and leads to a standing ovation.
Go back to it. Sam Adeniran, just an absolute pest all night long. 25 USL Championship goals in his career. Only the 3rd from this manner. Beautifully done by San Antonio. Ball to the back post. You redirect it back across. Not hit the best, but good recovery by Mitchell Tainer, and Adeniran just wants it more. Goes up and wins his 1v1 challenge to bury it.
Whoa, Maloney, what a run. Patino, back for Maloney. Pinballs around and back the other way. Harris arrives. His status to play in this game in any capacity was in doubt this morning.
This is a big area of interest, though. Danny Cruz talked about Carlos Mogul getting the opportunity, bringing him off the bench. Not just the calming disposition at such a young age he has, but his quality from set-piece situations, especially from the corner.
Mogul over Sharpie. Handball just outside the penalty area. Cameron Lancaster, one of the all-time great free kick takers, has already come off shortly after halftime.
Well, the argument is saying that it's right there. It's before that movement. Lucas Spalla had already blown this out. I mean, this is as close as it comes. Right at the top of the 18. Rough angle to pick it up from there. But certainly an excellent opportunity. You go left, you go right. Either one of these young men. Pretty impressive from this distance. With the towers that you have on the back line, can you get it up and over quick enough is the real question.
It'll be Wilson. Harris! Farr wipes it out. Recovered by Perez. Another defensive header. And Farr this time bobbled. Omby! Brian Omby grabs one back for Louisville City.
Make it 8 and 12 for Brian Omby. You bring one back, 8 goals, 4 assists, that's 12 marks overall in 19 games. It's a mistake by Jordan Farr. That's really simple. You come that far off your line, you go straight up. There's a little bit of momentum here from Tosh. What the referee's looking at is the challenge right there. Does Tosh connect that much? You got a little bit of an argument. Winder, no. Omby, yes. There's life left yet with just side 15 minutes to go.
That comes from Omby in the 78th minute. Patino and San Antonio reassert themselves. They'll get a set piece. depth for a goalkeeper. All the flags here are going in different directions. We talked to Jordan Farr about it yesterday. It can be very difficult to get a feel for this joint.
He also says he just trusts his own instincts, right? You don't necessarily feel that in this spot right here that the wind got in the way. It's a little aggressive for me from Jordan Farr to come that far off your line and try and come get this thing because you had so many numbers in front of you.
Oh, this is remarkable. Ultimately too far. And another card comes out.
Again, there's nothing there from Winder. You can make a little bit of an argument. I don't necessarily see that, but how's this from the Louisville fans? Back at Saints Pizza Pub in Louisville, Kentucky. Brian Ownby, 8th goal in 19 playoff games. Remember, down 2-0 against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They were abysmal for the opening 80 minutes, and yet goals inside 10 minutes to get them back into it. Got to 2-2, got them to penalties, and got them here.
Ownby. Those black jerseys trail back in unison. Masoso, who came in at the goal. He was Louisville's 5th and final substitution. Ten minutes to go in the championship final. San Antonio was 3 goals up. Brian Ownby got one back. Seeking Patino. Masoso dragged across by Mogul. Carried up by Perez. Harris. Ownby. Ownby, that's easy for Farr. Mushagalusa, who has been largely quiet. Perez. Mogul trying to get around Pirano. Ownby. Ownby down, free kick.
Little surprised we're not seeing a card here on Connor Maloney. This is a rough challenge. Leads with his studs, and then he tries to pull out of it against Brian Ownby, but he still connects, rolls right up over the backside of him. Great hustle by Brian Ownby to even get here and try and get a tiny touch on the ball. Another dangerous situation. This angle much more difficult, Mike, to get it up and down and go direct. You have to imagine that Amadou Dia and his left foot would have a chance to bring this to the back post. Sean Tosh is high, Wilson Harris is back there as well. And recognize that you push Wes Sharpie into the mix too. Even though Patino is down here, it's got to be a clear-cut communication if you're Louisville City. Dead ball situations have provided the best of opportunities throughout this game, minus the Manny Perez run in the first half. Very impressed by Mogul since he's come in. Emotionally, physically, mentally has helped regain some of the composure within the midfield. Haven't been as clean as Danny Cruz would like, but they have certainly started to punch back here a little bit.
Well, Pirano hobbling. His number has been given to the 4th. And this is actually perhaps precisely the player you want to bring in this moment, Devin. Justin Dillon, all 6'4" of him. A couple of years now at San Antonio, as big a physical body as you can place on a set piece.
This will be one of the targets coming out. They dropped him down to the midfield last game. He'll assume a similar role, obviously not on this restart, but the idea is, from a height perspective, it gives you another body to play off of, and they're struggling right now to get any sort of representation as they move off the back line to come forward.
Does Dia or Mogul have up their sleeve? It's not Dia, it is Mogul. Dia circumnavigating Patino. Let's go down to Sarah Gordon on our sideline with a little more info on what's going on the Louisville end.
Guys, I asked the Lou City coaches, how do you balance trying to score 2 goals and equalize late in the game, but also trying to stop this extremely good attack from transitioning in San Antonio? And he told me, it's not about balance anymore. We have to go for it right now. Their attack is dangerous, but it's time to make a move, and the more we keep the ball, like he said before, the more we keep the ball, the less we have to worry about them scoring again.
Well, 5.5 minutes to try and figure this out. Perez plays that long diagonal that's largely been snuffed out tonight by San Antonio, and that was by design. Looking for Bailoni up front. Went down, he's holding his face. Mushagalusa was the player in the area.
Here's my issue in this situation. You heard Lucas Spallo immediately. There's nothing in it. If there's nothing there, it's not a foul, which means you're insinuating, right? You're saying I created contact. Why aren't we addressing that situation? He's on the ground wasting time. If he said that there's no contact whatsoever at all, and that you heard that on the air, and he's over here talking to the player, the conversation is what exactly should be taking place. Instead, time comes off the clock, and the referee has given San Antonio exactly what they want.
Show you the best look we have. Watch in the background there, middle of your screen. Something there from Mushagalusa.
Catches him a little bit, doesn't he, on the hand? Fair enough. Not exactly sure that's fair from our referee then. A little misleading, isn't it?
Well, he only has 2 eyes.
He's pushing the hand away.
Oh, danger. Recovered remarkably, Patino. And kept in by Masoso, but maybe to his peril. Abu lost it. Perez. It's with San Antonio with under 2 minutes and stoppage time to go. They chanted Dos a Cero here, a familiar scoreline. But perhaps it's 3-1 that's more telling. That's how the last 2 finals ended. Monarchs over Louisville, Orange County over Tampa Bay last year. Jordy Delem. Collision of heads between Sharpie and Dillon. Manley. Tosh, Ownby, flanks around, Mogul, Dia, and you're gradually seeing a shimmering San Antonio fan base. 7 added minutes, perhaps symbolic of the 7 years they've waited for this occasion. And perhaps it'll be 7 minutes that feel like trips around the sun. Stripped away from Bailoni.
Now you just have to go all direct now if you're Louisville City. You've got a couple of minutes if you want to try and continue to play, which they've showed you that, but what a ball that is by Wilson Harris.
Out to Perez. 3 Louisville players perusing. And Ownby ushered away as far. Leaps out for SAFC. A reminder, you can win the Ultimate World Cup viewing experience with the Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes, a grand prize of a Hisense 120-inch laser TV and a $500 gift card. The Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes is now live. It ends tonight at midnight Eastern Time. Scan the QR code for your chance to win. Tainter. You know, Dev, perhaps Mitchell Tainter is the perfect example of what this San Antonio team is supposed to be. Yes, he misses the penalty inside 5 minutes. Ball stripped free and back all the way to Fondes. Over the offseason, he reached out to you. He said, what do you see in my game? He is as curious a player as you'll find. And that sort of describes the entire San Antonio FC ethos. Here they are on the precipice of a title.
It's all of them, right? It starts with Mitchell Tainter and what am I good at? What am I bad at? How do I get better as a person, as a player? And I want to challenge myself. He came into the season, Mike, saying, I want to win USL Championship Defender of the Year. I don't necessarily think I've provided that level before, but I know that I'm capable of it. And as he continued on his journey, he started to drag everybody else with him. It takes a village, right? You take a goalkeeper in Jordan Farr, who's about to hang up his boots, turns himself into the goalkeeper of the year and the second best goals against average, just behind Kyle Morton of Louisville City. Takes a guy like Mohamed Abu, a midseason pickup last year who drove you to the Western Conference Final, bounced in and out at times, but one of the most consistent yet understated players within this system because he is a ball holder. He wants to keep on it, but we need you to play a little bit different, right? Sam Adeniran up top, the loanee who comes in and statistically is one of the most obnoxious strikers we've seen in the USL Championship this year.
He changed everything for them when he arrived.
He's here the whole year. He might win MVP in the Golden Boot. That's how good he was.
Ball through for Louisville. They are no closer to finding the goal that puts them back in contention for Mushagalusa. Instead, it's San Antonio looking for their exclamation point. Beware, because Patino is happy to angle toward the flag and then turn toward goal. Oakland will tell you all about it. Forward for Harris. Harris, there's far. Denerin, a remarkable campaign arriving from Seattle. How many times he's lit the fuse to Toyota Field this year? 3 more minutes.
Easy here, easy. There's no reason for everybody. Connor Maloney coming to check on the challenge in the corner. Amadou Dia, it's the shoulder to shoulder. He catches the boards, and you want to make sure he's okay here for sure. And class by Denny Fondes to come over and check on Bailoni. 18 new players to this organization in 2022. For everything that we see in terms of growth within this league, the ability to rebuild on the fly like this for Alan Marcino, his staff, and every single player, pretty magnificent. We said about Louisville City, Mike, coming in, that if they could complete it, this might be the most impressive because of not only the depth that they had, but the lack thereof as the season went on. 6 separate players, 6 injuries, 6 weeks, 4 of which were season-ending. And yet through some individual brilliance, regardless of goalkeeper or striker or defender, you found a way as a collective to push yourself through and get to the final. Questions at certain points in time in this year about San Antonio and as to whether or not they could get rid of the curse that has been the #1 overall seed. Since 2016, we've seen nothing. They bowed out early in the playoffs. Ask Cincinnati, ask Phoenix Rising, Reno. And yet when you sit with Alan Marcina, he said, you take a look historically, any team that I've been involved in, I finished first. In my division, in the league, in the conference. Playoffs, a different story. The story told now, certainly different.
This is wide. Would have been the end from Dillon. Change for San Antonio. Elliot Collier said in the huddle yesterday in the final walkthrough, we talk about being a family, but he's never experienced anything like this. Santiago Patino can say the same. He's scored big goals, but he's never scored 2 goals like this. A curtain call for an assured MVP performance.
We say that they aren't necessarily efficient on the ball, but 100% within their ways, none the better. And the fact that he's at 29% passing accuracy, 4 of 14. And yet, the 2 goals are all you are going to remember when you look at the record books.
We've gone the 7 minutes. San Antonio FC finishes the fight. The long-awaited star, San Antonio FC, wins the USL Championship final. The Lone Star has arrived. San Antonio FC wins the championship final in 2022. A number of fans from the supporters have stormed the field. Santiago Patino, a tremendous performance. The second goal, a thing of beauty from San Antonio FC. And Jordan Farr, on the verge of retirement, he wanted to start a family. He thought, maybe I'll give San Antonio one more chance. He was the backup at the start of the year. A club legend, was perhaps the second option. There's a baby on the way for him and his wife, Allie. And he's now a champion in remarkable fashion. And a sellout crowd of over 8,000 here at Toyota Field. Rejoice as Louisville City pay it back to the 600 fans who traveled. A lot of smiles elsewhere in this building, including on Jordan Farr, who's with Sarah.
Jordan, congratulations. Incredible season for you. You just shared a moment with your teammates. Tell me, what was that about? What were you guys talking about?
All year, we've had a plan. We've had a purpose to our season. And we're just saying this is the best. We're never going to have times like this. I mean, we could win more championships for sure, but this family, this team, it's something really special. And I think Elliot said it best. Like, this is a legacy. This is a group that is going to go down hopefully in history. And so we're just super proud.
Congratulations again. And I saw you fell on your shoulder, you were holding it. I'm not sure if it was just adrenaline that got you through it. How did you get through the rest of the game? What was cycling through your mind?
Definitely. This city deserved this, by the way. This city deserved this. For me, it's all adrenaline. It's the fans. That's my brother. That's my brother. Anyway, adrenaline for sure. The fans as well.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jordan. His brother's pretty excited. Dev, what a phenomenal performance from San Antonio FC. If you don't like how they play, that's tough. That's on you. But these fans certainly love it, and they certainly love the fact that it's resulted in a long-awaited trophy.
March 13th, 2022. First game on the nationally televised scene this season for the USL Championship. The Tampa Bay Rowdies were on the road against the Birmingham Legion. I looked at you and said, this is going to be the best year that the USL Championship has ever experienced. Certainly because of the parity in the East and the West. Those boxes have been checked off. We know that for certain. But as the season went on, we saw quick starts by some teams just cruised right along. San Antonio FC stood strong. They were steadfast. They hit a stretch though, July 30th to August 27th. They were 2-2-2. Multiple conversations took place behind the scenes that I had with players from this organization. And I said, you don't look yourself. Can you maintain the momentum that we've seen all season long? They said, we've got to find a way. We've got to do it. We have too much pride about the #1 overall. We want to get that. We want to win the title. X marks the spot.
San Antonio FC concludes one of the great seasons in USL Championship history. The trophy presentation. We'll meet our MVP when we return to San Antonio.
San Antonio FC receives their 2022 USL Championship medal.
Jordan Farr said Alan Marcina believed in him. Mitchell Tainter said the same. San Antonio, all that belief. Mentality monsters prevail. 3-1 in this USL Championship final. It could have been a very different night for Mitchell Tainter and San Antonio. Louisville City will feel like the number of injuries, the fact they got here is an accomplishment, and it is. But San Antonio tonight, all the analytics say so, drastically better, even if it's not quite the style that you're used to. They'll wear these medals with an immense amount of pride, Devin. There is, however, an element. They talk about we get a lot of stones thrown at us. This has to be in some way for them gratifying beyond belief to say, yeah, we play this way, and you have to come to our place. We're the defending champion, regular season and playoff now.
What's black is white, what's up is down, red is blue. I mean, who cares what your favorite color is, right? You want to drive fast or slow. I mean, there are so many different ways in life to go about things. And when it comes to the footballing world, as you get a good look at club legend Matt Cardoni in the background, who retired earlier this season, there are so many different ways to attack this game. And you could not have had two more different teams that contrasted each other than Louisville City and San Antonio FC. Both extremely efficient in what they do, pretty within their own right. And we talked about a movement in the Oakland game. It was 4 players, 7 seconds, 6 touches. Now, it didn't end up in a goal, but they condensed the field into a 30-yard stretch. That's them, and they have no problem with that at all. We're going to remove 75% of the field, and this is the way that we're going to play. On the other side, it's going to be hard-nosed football, and they're good at what they do. Louisville City is not going to make any excuses for being banged up. That's not what their mentality is about. Remember this, though, too. This team, San Antonio FC, from week 1 until the game against Oakland in the playoffs, had at least 1 player on the injury report the entire season. Most of which, on that list, it was stretching 3, 4, 5. And with all due respect, I'm not talking about squad players coming off the bench. I'm talking about starters. And yet, this team was able to get it done. Could they do it with the goalkeeper? Could they do it with the defender, the midfielder? Yes, you bring a Denner in, you get goals. 17 different goal scorers. Every single player, as an individual, contributed to this collective effort that has led them to this title.
Okay, Mark Cartwright just presented the MVP trophy to Santiago Patino. Here's your MVP, everyone. So describe this moment. You guys were yourselves from the first minute to the 90th, pressing at the end of the game. Describe what this moment means to you winning MVP.
No, this team is amazing. This fans is amazing. We deserve this. We work for this. I'm so proud of this group and this team, and thank you guys for coming, supporting. The energy you guys bring is incredible.
Thank you. Congratulations. And now welcome to the stage, USL President Jake Edwards. He's presenting the championship trophy to Connor Maloney, your captain.
Yes, sir!
San Antonio FC, a remarkable team performance. Lift the trophy for the first time, and they didn't have to make it this time either. It wasn't an exercise equipment piece in Pittsburgh. It wasn't a shield that they adapted into a supporter shield-esque trophy. No, this is the cup that they've waited now to achieve, to grab, to hold for 7 years.
Are they the new standard is the question. I promise you, everybody else within this organization and say, yes, San Antonio FC, we are the newbies on the block, but we have made a name for ourselves. Incredible run over the past 3 seasons, finally culminating in the title for San Antonio FC.
Santiago Patino, 2 goals. Sam Adeniran as well scores what proves to be the winner for our entire team all season long. Sarah Gordon, Devin Kerr, Mike Watts saying congratulations to San Antonio FC, USL Championship winners.
Beautiful.